Hello, everyone, and this is my review for TNA Impact Wrestling on May the 10th, 2016. And overall, I'm going to go off and say overall that this show I thought was a really good show. There was a couple little wonkiness aspects to it. I'll get into those in a few moments. There was just a little bit promo issue that I had, but right at the beginning of the show here, the week before, and just for reference, I did miss last week's because I was out of town, so I had to catch up on what was going on. You had Jeff Hardy coming out there calling out to Cade for the fact that they interfered in the triple threat match for #1 contendership. What I really liked about this interaction between them is because they actually gave some clarification why they attacked Jeff Hardy. And they said it's because someone paid us and everything like that. It wasn't anything like revolutionary by any stretch of the imagination, but it was something, and it tied them together, and that's all they really needed to do there. Uh, and of course they said, that person who paid us will, show themselves in due time. This prompts James Storm to come out. Obviously, still a little bit miffed the fact that they lost the tag team titles to Decay weeks back, and tries to get his rematch and gets it, or doesn't try, but gets his rematch with Jeff Hardy because obviously he can't team up with Bobby Roode because he is gone at this time. Overall, that match, not a bad match. The ending scene, Willow coming out, or someone dressed as Willow, come out and distract Jeff Hardy and causing the Black Hole Slam. And also, I have to throw out there, I like the aspect of Abyss being face painted instead of just having a mask on. He's had that mask for who knows how long now, and it does change up the character a bit, and I actually do like it in the end. And it does fit the Decay style a little bit more than just having the mask on. And then you have Crazy Steve and Rosemary over here with the face paint in there, so it does kind of tie them all together in there, and I actually do like it in the end. They're doing a really good job with Decay, I think. I just overall I do enjoy how they come off, and they work these characters really, really well. Jeff Hardy's interaction with promos afterwards, like backstage vignettes about talking about somebody dressing up as Willow and everything like that. I like how he gets angry about the fact that somebody would take his creation and try to use it for their own and everything in there. It just came off a lot better than anything I've seen from Jeff Hardy, at least promo-wise and everything like that. And I've never been a big fan of the Willow character to begin with. I thought it was a failed experiment way back when. But this is good usage of the Willow character to begin with, and they've been teasing having something with Willow over the last few months with the whole with like them using it with Eric Young and everything, and obviously they're going to use it here. More likely it's going to be Matt Hardy or something like that. This is like Matt's little mind games, and it'll lead into that, and I'm completely fine with that as long as they tell it well, and they told it well here. That's what I think. You also had a Jade and Gail Kim segment. You had them backstage with Maria and Maria's new bodyguard or hired gun in their name off the top of my head just does not come off in any way right now. But I'll remember that down the road there. But basically makes a match between the two of them, and she has her hired gun to go out there as well, and says that she'll be out there for the Knockouts title match between the two of them, just to ensure that it's going to be a top-notch match and everything in that sense. And honestly, the match between Jade and Gail Kim this time, I think, was a lot better than any of the other matches they've done so far. Like the way they had started up and everything, they definitely seem to be working at a faster pace with each other and everything in that sense. I think they were doing a lot better job here. But the stories obviously lead towards other facets. Obviously, the new hired gun took out Jade the week before and does so again here this week. Takes out Jade and Gail Kim, basically ruining the match after it was getting to a good point. And I do get where they're going with this one. And I thought it actually works out well for the story because you have Gail Kim mainly going up against Maria. And this is like her way of this is their way of having Gail Kim and other people interact, it's on Maria's behalf to, give more reason for Gail Kim to go after Maria down the line. And obviously, this new hired gun will probably do something with Jade down the road here. I actually did like this segment. I thought it came off relatively well. Drew Galloway and Bobby Lashley. I liked it to an extent. I thought there was a little bit of wonkiness here in their promo between the two of them, because you had obviously you've been going off this aspect of Bobby Lashley spearing Drew Galloway over and over and over again, and even doing it last week in more of an accidental fashion when Drew Galloway was the referee. But you have you have Drew Galloway call out Bobby Lashley. He comes out like no problems, no anything like that, and he's continuing like the entire time. He's calling Bobby Lashley like a coward the entire time, though Bobby Lashley's like completely there in his face. And honestly, in some ways, I wouldn't say in cowardly fashion. He's just been kind of doing sneak attacks, which you can call cowardly, but. But Bobby Lashley also throws out there is like this is more strategic than it is cowardly, because he throws out there how he's a real fighter and everything like that. Like the promo was okay. It was not great, but it wasn't horrible either. It just came off a little bit wonky in the end. And obviously they go off and announce Bobby Lashley making for the world title match the next week. I think this is going to be more of a case where this match ends in some kind of wonky fashion, setting up for a secondary match somewhere down the line. I don't think they're gonna do, after this much setup, they're gonna just do it on a particular Impact. They'll probably do it in some other fashion down the road here. But will be interesting to see how they pull off next week's match with Bobby Lashley and Drew Galloway. And obviously they play off of Drew Galloway always looking for a fight in some way. And he said, and basically he's like, he came for a fight, and he got interrupted by Eli Drake. This is where, again, Eli Drake's great on the mic, but this one's a little bit wonky, because they announced this match as a world title match. Though clearly during the promo, Eli Drake said he's going to win all the gold one by one, starting with the King of the Mountain title, even holding up the briefcase and pointing towards it. Then he said he was going to move on to the tag titles, and he gives almost like the line of the night, saying it's like, I don't care, I have to start doing dives and planches and everything like that, and I'll win the X Division title, and then eventually going after the world title here. Like the promo, but then they announced this is a world title match. Overall, the match, good match. I thought the match between Drew and Eli Drake was relatively good. Obviously, Drew was going to go over here because you're focusing more towards Bobby Lashley and Drew Galloway. I thought it was a little bit wonky. Wasn't horrible though, but didn't come off as good as the rest of the show did. But this leads me into the main indie of the night, because it ended up being the main event of the night, the EC3 program with Michael Bennett. First of all, you have a pre-taped bit where you have Maria and Michael Bennett at one of the Smashing Pumpkins concerts and everything, because one of the officials, Bill, last name, I'm horrible with musicians' names, but one of the TNA officials is somebody with Smashing Pumpkins, and so they have them go through an aspect of Maria setting up a quick interview or a quick talking segment with Michael Bennett and him, and it was later revealed, because obviously EC3 is still trying to go after Michael Bennett. He wants to avenge this loss. He really wants to get to Michael Bennett in some way, shape, or form, and he conveys that inside of his promo here. And Michael Bennett comes out there and he's like, I got nothing left to prove to you. And everything like that. I've beaten the unbeatable. I've beaten the unbendable. I've beaten the unsubmitted by pinning EC3 in the middle of the ring, which I still don't agree that it should have been done with some kind of roll-up, but hey, that's how they decided to go about doing it. But it's like, but the whole aspect was now Michael Bennett should be going after the world title, but he fails at his world title aspirations in the terms of losing the number one contendership match the week before. Not necessarily losing, but he did not win. He didn't get pinned though in that case. And so EC3 throws out there is like that leaves you kind of with no matches right now, and it's like he's trying to set up and try to goad them in here, and it's like this plays off of the smartness of, or like Michael Bennett trying to outsmart EC3 or one up him. And it's like, you know what? You're right. We need to. Is going out there and saying, it's like, you know, you want this match, and he's kind of willing to give it to him. But he calls it a road to redemption for EC3, where he has to face demons in his past and everything like that to eventually get a match with Michael Bennett down the road. And he said his first match is going to be in the Six Sides of Steel, and you're going to have to wait. And it turns out to be Rockstar Spud. But I love the backstage vignette that you have with EC3. It's like he's all amped about going inside the steel cage. It's like he just wants to get the Michael Bennett. And then his match with Rockstar Spud. I like this match. I like this match with EC3 and Rockstar Spud inside the steel cage. And the reason is you have Rockstar Spud, who is playing a character like he's smaller in stature, obviously smaller muscular-wise. That is not as strong as EC3. EC3 could easily dominate him. Yet Rockstar Spud is just willing to go after this guy because of what had happened in the past. Obviously, they're trying to play off of EC3, you know, what he had done to Rockstar Spud in the past, but now he wanted to make amends for it and everything in that sense. But Rockstar Spud's not having any of it and anything like that, and he's just willing to go out there and fight EC3. But the other aspect I like about this one, it comes off in a more facious way inside of a steel cage match versus in a more heelish way. You have Rockstar Spud who's willing to try to win the match in any way possible, which also regards of trying to get outside of the cage. Like he gets a few little spots in there where he squirms away or knocks EC3 away and tries to attempt to escape the cage. Even the whole aspect of getting launched up into the cage and starts climbing out. While EC3 wasn't trying to do that in any way. This is where I say the face side comes. He's trying to gain the decisive win in some way, shape, or form, whether it be like the submission or mostly in pinfall in this case, which I thought came off relatively good. I thought they did a good job inside of this match, conveying that Rockstar Spud trying to win in any means necessary, while even though using the steel cage in some way because it is a cage match, EC3 plays a more facious role where he's trying to garner the pin or the submission, not attempting to quote-unquote take the coward's way out of escaping the cage. It played off of that story in there, and obviously I feel like they're going to probably throw Tyrus, and they might throw some other guy inside of there as well, as this road to redemption for going through EC3's demons and everything like that. So we'll see where they go with everything in there, but expecting to see something relatively good down the line here, because I thought this stuff was relatively good tonight. I thought they did a good job for the most part throughout the show. Like just little bits of wonkiness about some of the promos, but otherwise action and storytelling was relatively done well here, and I thought that was just came off even better for the show. Like I said, I thought Impact this week was actually a very good show. I hope they continue on in some way, shape, or form more with this down the line, and we'll see where they go with everything with TNA Impact. That is my review for TNA Impact Wrestling this week, and I thank you guys for watching.